Hey, what's up? Doing something a little different. Um, I'm standing because if I post the other video, I explained I have an illness, which makes it really hard for me to move. And if I sit down, it took me around 10 minutes to stand back up, basically rolling myself onto a bed and sticking my leg between a dresser to give myself like a push-off point to try and move my body to get up. It sucks, but I'm still going about my day and still gonna try and move forward using um, my planning and tactics to get through the day physically because under normal circumstances it would be impossible. Right now, I can't even. I had a coffee cup, but I have to sort of. You ever seen someone who has malformed hands or arms and they have to grab stuff like this? Well, that's the way I have to grab a coffee cup. I can't really close my hand, so I have to grip it with both hands to pick it up and then sort of put it on my face and roll it back to drink. Um, Kind of sucks, but that's the things I go through. Um, and also, it's pretty painful. Every muscle in my body hurts. Um, but that doesn't stop me from trying to do what I need to do and try to move things forward. But let me explain other tribulations in my life. I grew up in a household with an addicted parent. I never met my father, and when I had the option to, I pretty much said, no, I don't care, which people will laugh if you hear me say I don't care because I tend to say that a lot now that I understand boundaries of myself and who I am. If you have something to say to me that isn't in my realm of usefulness, I'm probably going to tell you I don't care. Um, and if I think you're going to say it, I'll probably tell you I don't care before you say it, which people get alarmed with that. But the fact of the matter is you don't have to give me information I can't use. You don't have to tell me about things that really I'm just going to either placate you and nod and smile and act like I care, but really I don't. I do not. An example being, this might be hypothetical, it might be real, who knows anyway. Um, Someone tells me about their girlfriend, and personally, I'm concerned about how it affects them, and so I listen. But once it gets into details about the things she does, cause I don't care. I don't. I do not. It's not me. Um, Whatever person, I'm here for you. I'm not here for her. And whatever she's doing, she can go do off on her own. I.e., well, I have a girlfriend, she cheated on me. Man, that sucks, man. I know what that's like. You want to talk to me about it? Sure. Yeah, well, she did this, this, and this. Okay, well, let's talk about you. Let's talk about how you're feeling. Let's talk about things to improve your life and things to make you move forward. And blah, 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 blah about her. And she had a pink dress that I really hated. I don't care. I don't care what she's doing. I don't care about this part of the conversation. This thing that people do needs to stop. And I mean, I'm not perfect. We all got things we need to stop doing, and because it affects other people. But when you desire consolation or consolidation, whatever, when you want someone there to listen to you, sometimes yes, it's good to just listen. But at the same time, it isn't a requirement for me to listen to every bit of garbage you spout out. So therefore, I'll say I don't care. Um, but don't get me wrong, I do care about things, just not about the bullcrap that's being spewed that has nothing to do with my goal of being there for a person that's a friend or a family member or whatever. Now, if you keep going, I'm going to listen, but I'm probably in my head trying to figure out the mathematical equation for quantum, for whatever, gravitational waves or some crap in my head. But um, that's just me. That's just how I am, and I'm gonna totally tune you out until you say something that triggers me to go, oh wait, he's off that. Let me listen again. And you can say it's rude, you can say it's mean, but if I'm subjected to hearing about someone I don't know, don't care about, and if has pretty much triggered this person for this moment isn't on my good list, then I don't care. I don't. What am I supposed to do? Um, But let's go back to the beginning. So you tell me about your significant other and how they did you wrong. Now, my next question is so what did you do? Not after, not in revenge. What did you do before that? Everything happens in a certain order. So what were the steps that could have been taken to prevent that? Not saying it's your fault. I'm just saying most things can be prevented if you pay attention. But if you're only paying attention to yourself, then those things aren't possible. I mean, I understand. Maybe she only likes guys who are 6'2" and above, and you're 5'1", and that just wasn't going to work out. And there's nothing you could have done. But you better be sure that she told you specifically she cheated on you because you were too short. I mean, by height. And then at that point, there's literally nothing you can do about it. But you understood. And at that point, you should have said, no, okay, since I see where this is going to go, I'm leaving. And she can go all the woe is me and all you want. But you just pretty much told me that you're going to probably look for something you prefer better because I'm not it and I can't be it. Now, your feelings on it, I know you're going to be hurt and devastated, but there's a time for emotion and there's a time for action, and those things should be separate. And right now, I'm kind of getting used to things I'm doing now, like I'm practicing doing these videos where I need to remember I need to stare at the light so I look like I'm talking to you directly instead of staring at my face on the screen. Anyway, I don't mind saying, ooh, see, that stuff sucks. That little waver, back to my illness, that little waver, that little fall was because I went to unlock my knee and I didn't have the strength to hold my body weight up. So I almost went down, but I locked it again immediately as soon as I felt my weight not be able to support my weight. Okay, now that's over. Up. We tend to put ourselves together with emotion and action. We should keep those separate. You always have the right to feel the way you feel. You always have the right to express how you feel. But you don't always have the positive outcomes because you react to how you feel versus reacting to the situation. Let's think of it this way. If you're swinging a hammer and you hit your thumb with the hammer, I'll need to say even personally, if I go an emotional route, I threw that hammer probably through my own front window, broke the window, got mad, went to try to fix it all mad, cut my hand, then kicked the wall, put a hole in the wall, and now I'm just making this path of destruction because I reacted emotionally instead of going, you know what? My next action will be to make sure my thumb is all right, fix my thumb, suck it up, buttercup, with the pain, and be a little bit more careful how I swing a hammer. Or maybe I should practice hitting nails better so I don't have to miss, which I haven't hit my finger with a hammer in a long time. And I do construction. So those things are two separate stories. One says that I reacted. Now my anger is still there, but I balled that anger and that madness. Instead of having instant reaction, take a stop, take a pause, take the actions that need to be taken. Then, as I'm getting mad, use it as energy to do the right thing. And then what happens is more interesting. I can't believe I hit my hand with that finger or hit my thumb with that dang hammer. And now you're actually working faster, better, and more efficiently because you're angry and you're processing it the correct way than you would be to do the other and just make a path of destruction, which I am very much known for in my past before I actually sat down and figured out the things that I need to do to fix myself. Now with that, I will say this, and it's the most important thing I've ever learned in my life. You can always learn from someone. No matter how far beneath you, how disoriented, even how crazy, because you know what, even those people who are totally what I call batshit crazy, sometimes they have little nuggets of wisdom that only you understand because maybe it affects you from your past, but you hear it different. because everything's about perspective anyway. But so I remember um, someone said um, there's, and this person was an addict. They didn't seem very smart in a lot of ways, but they they were living in a tent. You can name all the things that they were doing wrong, so to speak, in life, to label them as if you shouldn't be around this person. But they said something to me, and it made me change how I reacted to things. They said, you got to remember, there's always an action, a reaction, then a knee-jerk reaction again. So that means if you punch me and I punch you back, what are you gonna do? You're gonna throw another punch as if you're reacting to the first one. It just keeps going these reactions back and forth. When if you took the first punch, right, and you stopped at the first reaction and said, you know what? If this person punched me to start a fight? Is this person punching me by accident? Just go down the list. It only takes a second, and come up with a formulated plan of how you're going to do things. And here's the interesting part. You punch me, in most cases, if there was no previous altercation, I'm going to take the punch. I'm going to look at you. I'm like, do you have a death wish or what? And when you ball your fist up again, obviously you want to fight. So I can already ascertain there's no more knee jerk, there's no more whatever. And maybe I just want to see if you actually react emotionally or what. I'm like, no. I'm definitely ready to fight, but I'm going to ascertain, because that fight can happen anytime. You see what I mean? Your reactions, most cases, your emotional ones, can wait and still happen. If your girlfriend cheats on you, you can still wild out next week. You can still act a fool. You can still go bang a bunch of what do they call it, leg draggers or whatever. And that can happen next week. It can happen right now. It can happen in 2 minutes. It can happen whenever. But the efficient, smart response can only happen the first time. Think about that. Someone cuts you off in traffic. You can make a logical response, like, whatever, it's not worth it. Maybe there's an emergency, and let them go. Or you can go back and cut them off again. But now let's think about that. You can rush and go cut them off. Or you can wait 5 minutes, catch up to them, and then cut them off then. Or you could follow them the next day, and you can do that emotional reaction most times anytime you want. Because primitive emotional reaction is usually visceral, and the outcome is only purely emotional. There's no gain to it. They're usually just emotional. Oh, look, I got them back. And then they're going to do something to you because they got the knee-jerk reaction, and then they do something to you because now it's a back and forth petty thing, right? And after they do their knee-jerk, after that, it's just vengeance. It's back and forth and back and forth. Instead of letting it ride or going, okay, here's an example, right? And this is a prime example. And this is me having an emotional reaction and remembering logical reactions. I was driving down 75 and someone cut me off. Okay, no problem. Then I went somewhere else. I guess he cut me off again. Now I'm figuring that, I don't know, maybe I accidentally cut him off. Who knows? Okay, but he did it twice. The first time I let it slide. Okay, so the next time I use my tactics to do something very funny. I didn't cut him off. I just got slowly in front of him and slowed down. And every time he went, I just kept blocking and slowing him down. Then he wanted to race and try to get around me as fast as he could. So we started racing. Now, I'm not angry. I'm actually pretty much laughing, like, okay. So I'm beating him all the way down the line, down the freeway. And then, because I'm not angry, I see ahead there's cops. And we're doing 100-something miles an hour. And I go, oh shit, cops. So I slow down, and he passes by, and he's looking at me, flipping me the bird, yelling out the window, head hanging out as he passes and blows by me. And I just slide in between two semis, and I just keep on riding. And then he blows past the cops, and then here goes all the lights. And I didn't do the revenge thing as I saw him, as I passed him as he was getting pulled over, whatever. I just paid attention. I made sure not to look at him because that wasn't my goal for him to get in trouble. My understanding was just be efficient, do what I wanted to do, even though it was kind of mean, um, and not get emotional about it. If I was emotional, just trying to be determined to screw him over, I would have made a mistake too. But keeping a rational perspective, I kept myself safe. And if he was not emotional about it, he would have kept his self safe too. But he didn't. In fact, I might have gotten caught because I was ahead of him. Do you see what I mean? How the emotional reactions tend to always hurt you? But anyhow, that's just something on my mind today. I hope people get something out of it. It isn't nothing special. And I'm going to go back and hopefully I feel a little better and do a little writing. All right, have a good one, guys. Oh, yeah, do the Patreon thing, blah, 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 because money still ain't free. Anyway, have a good one.